Hello, I'm Helen Sattler. I am your destiny helper. Thank you so much for being with me once again, answering your questions. Those of you that find so vitally important and you want answer to it. I am so thrilled to be here to assist you. Thank you so much for all of my new subscribers and those of you who are emailing me and writing me. And it is an honor to return that to you. Thank you so much for being with me, joining with me. It is such a pleasure. Please feel free to write me at destinyhelper12s at gmail.com. Destinyhelper12s at gmail.com. And I have a question for you. The question of the day or of the night is, I have been pressured into information. You are in the court and you believe that you were pressured into the information. And how could I refrain from giving information? I am so angry, she said, totally hostile until I want them to hurt like they hurt me, and they're interrogating me, and I find myself saying things to hurt them, and I know afterwards that it could not be beneficial for me. What do I do? I want to talk about it. The name of this teacher would be the mind crusher and information hackers. Mind crushers and information hackers. Narcissists are very good listeners, and they are very advocate about the information that you give, and they will go into constant pressuring of you to get that information out, because narcissists know how to use information against you. And that's why in the love bombing stage, they ask a lot of questions about you. They seem like they was totally interested in you. There wasn't the interest. They needed a file, and this file was to be kept. So as you go into the relationship, they can access this information, like accessing the information from computer data, and they would download this information in their mind, and each file is kept. And they would ask information for your children that would become a file. They would ask information about your job, your economics, what you like, what you want to do, and if you don't have kids, they would make it so that you want to spend your life with them. So they will find out the thing that is the most important to you. And once they find that out, that would be what they centered in. That would be the mode of conversation. They were centered in. They're very targeted. They're very focused. Even the lower narcissists who don't know that they are narcissists, but they are exemplifying all this narcissistic behavior. And what is ironic, there's only 6% noted, 6.2% noted individual that has been proven narcissist in the United States, which tally out to millions of people. And these, after all these millions of people, and it's only 6%, many of you are of the lower percentile that are coming into these strong personality, strong malignant character people, because narcissists, when they are diagnosed clinically, they are diagnosed knowing that they're going to cause havoc. Can you imagine being married to someone with strange behavior, and you finally get the diagnosis of what's wrong with them, and this diagnosis said that they are a narcissist? So you're married to someone that they know is going to cause you pain, and you know that you're going to have to endure pain, because the enduring pain is part of the relationship. It's their normal flow, like breathing air, oxygen. It's what they do, and it's what they will do, and it's what they can't help doing, because it is their core being. And a lot of times we get into relationships to change people. You will not change a narcissist. You cannot change a narcissist. Only God can do that. When the narcissist is able to look within themselves clinically, they say it's impossible. But we have a power outside of what the clinicians say that can happen. All things are possible. Does it happen? Yes. The ratio is very low for it to happen. In the Bible, Saul was a mass murderer. Saul was very into himself, about himself. When you look at the character of Saul, there was no caring at all in his character about anyone else but himself. But he had a dynamic experience with God that led to a difference in character. I do not dispute the clinicians, the psychologists, psychiatrists that said narcissists cannot be saved or they cannot love. I believe that. I totally agree with them. A narcissist cannot. That status of his behavior, everything has to change, just like when we change being born again. Being a Christian, I bring it from the God side of the house. And so I don't expect a lot of clinicians, psychiatrists to even agree with me, because a lot of them don't agree in the realm of dynamics, because even the narcissists can use religion in a malignant way, and they use everything they have in a malignant way. When you have a narcissist, you got to know that there's going to be trauma. You got to know that there's going to be pain. So like she was asking, the narcissist is coming at her with all of this information, asking questions. Some of you want to be braggadocious about what you have. I was with someone, and that's what they did. You know, they was making all the wrong statements, all the wrong things. And they were saying because they wanted to get back at their narcissist. And you cannot get back at your narcissist. You try to get revenge. You got to remember that's where they live. That's where they operate. They are masters at it. In order for you to master it, you got to become like them. You got to take on their behavior. You got to mirror them. The reason you was chosen is because you're the opposite. But when you start to stay, you start to engraft their behavior and you start to change. So now the narcissist isn't the one changing. You are the one changing. You are the one getting angry. You are the one that wants revenge. You are the one getting hateful, because this behavior is so traumatizing, mesmerizing, overthrowing your mind, overthrowing your will, overthrowing the good gesture, that no matter what you do, you have reached a place where you don't know what to do, because you love them is not enough. You give your life is not enough. They break you down to cellular structure, and that's not enough. And you said, no matter what I do, it's not enough. Well, when you finally get discarded, or you escape, and you have children, or you have property, or you have businesses with the narcissist, and the narcissist, this business is joined together, and you have community property, and you have to go to courts, and you have to settle this property. You have to settle the custodial aspect. You have to settle the business aspect. Or you're trying to sue your narcissist, trying to get a civil suit because you have been traumatized by a relationship, and you feel that there needs to be some reward for all the trauma that you've been through. Well, you need to be very, very, very wise when you're doing that, because you got to remember, information is very powerful to the narcissist. It is the heartbeat of your mind and your emotion. The information that they get, they're going to use it. It's like a computer. The reason the computer get information is to store up for use. So if anybody come in and access that information become readily available. And that's what the narcissists want. The narcissists want the information you have to be readily available, especially if you spend years with the narcissist and you've been traumatized. They know how to trigger the right button. They know how to push the right button. They know how to target your mind, target your thought, and they get the right kind of pressure. They get the right kind of provocation to get you to sound off. And when they sound off, they're note taking. They're note taking. When you're in the court, every word that you say will and can be used against you in the court of law. When you are under pressure, Grey Rock works. It doesn't always work, but it works. And the reason it doesn't always work, because when you get in a neutral state, the narcissist keep pressuring and pressuring and pushing you and saying it, word salad, gaslighting, and he devalue you, and he comes in and he keep on and he keep on. She she keeps on and she keeps on, especially women. Women narcissists speak, I think they said about 65 to 75% more words than most men. But the diagnosis of narcissism has been greater with the male counterpart. And so when you got a woman who's a narcissist, I mean, she's speech oriented. So she is talking and talking and talking, and you feel like you're about to lose your mind. Just when you get to the point of break, she take it up a notch, and she keep talking and talking and talking, just like Samson laying in the lap of Delilah. Delilah kept on. I mean, it was common sense to all of us that if you keep on, you're going to break. Why would you keep going back to someone you know that have evil intentions? And these evil intentions have been noted. You know what is there. When you are with the narcissists give off this fragrance. Come on. And what I say fragrance, they cause your body to respond, your hormonal level. I mean, your dopamine make you feel like you on cloud nine. And then the adrenaline, you don't know whether the fight or go flight. You know, it's causing you to be very apprehensive because things are changing, and they can change in an instant, and nothing is stable, nothing is solid. 1 minute there's love, the next minute there's hate, and then he's talking, then he goes silent, then he ghosts out, then he comes back, he comes in, he love bummed you, he just told you he hate you, and now he cries, he's sorry, she cries, he's sorry, and then now you just making passionate love again, and you totally forget what you are dealing with, and they totally remember what they're dealing with. They don't forget. They're like elephants. Everything they do is for a reason. Nothing is just happenstance. They are intentional, even ignorantly, knowing the lower narcissist, the lower mid narcissist, not knowing who they are. Then you get into the mid grade, he's coming into himself, and then the greater narcissist. Those of you who dealt with the greater narcissist, your mind have endured intentional trauma. They're very focused. They're very cerebral. They're very intentional. Everything they do go into a category of file. It's an organized system, and this system works. And most of you are dealing with a whole harem of men and women, and they have. And you notice a narcissist. I'm going to do a teaching. The narcissist in their phone, the narcissist in their computer, because everything about them is advocate, and they advocate, and they have a system that works for them, and it always work against you because you got to always be on the leash. You got to always be held hostage. You got to always be in a training session. Every day you're with a narcissist, you are in a training session. You're even trained to speak and how to talk. You're trained to give information. When a hostage is taken under torturous situation, and they take them and they put water, let this water drip on their forehead. It drip and drip and drip and drip in 24 hours, just one drip of water, until they feel like they're losing their mind from one drip of water. But the consistency of the drip, and to put them in the room, and there's no interaction, you isolate them, and then you start your torment. When you are in isolation, any least torment become great, major torment, because there's no release, there's no association, there's nothing given into you, and you can give out. Everything you give out is to the narcissist. You're surrounded by him, surrounded by his desires, surrounded by what he wants. After a while, your speech culminates to what they want. It becomes what they want you to be. And so when the narcissists come at you with this pressure, and they're pressuring you to talk, they're pressuring you to speak, you cannot just say anything. Like the young woman I was with, you cannot. You be braggadocious, but it's against your own, it's to your own hurt. It's not to help you. If you are in a business with the narcissist, and the narcissist is coming after the business and accusing you of illegal business ethics, and you are telling all the things that you've done, all the things that you built, and it's outside of the scope of business, you're going to have to prove that you did not take the business money that was on an equal term, and that you did not present that before them, but you took you embezzled money to grow things that you were doing. They would charge you with embezzlement, even though it's a profit that you did, but you wanted to hurt them. So you said things that you knew wasn't true. You overemphasized things you knew wasn't true. The narcissist don't care about your half truth. The narcissist don't care about your revenge. The narcissist want you to your last breath. And when you get to your last breath, they won't stop until that last breath is gone. They will traumatize you in the court of law. And you said that I'm just going to tell my lawyer. My lawyer knows because he got a diagnosis as a narcissist. So I'm going to put everything on the narcissist, on the narcissism. You cannot. You still have to have validated proof, because the narcissist can say that they was diagnosed and now you've taken advantage of them. Those, a lot of people think they know narcissists. You have to go to get lawyers that is used to complicated, emotional, traumatized cases and that are dealing with traumatized cases, massive trauma cases, and they can understand that. But you get a lawyer, don't know, he knows the term narcissist, but he never had an experience with narcissism. That narcissist come in with word salad, even to lawyers, and the lawyers are more confused, and he's your lawyer you paying for, and his lawyer is confused, and your lawyers are confused, and the narcissists get away. You give too much information out. Young lady, you cannot. Young man, you cannot. You cannot just talk. One of my daughters, Dr. Carmen Bryan, she did a teaching on YouTube, and I think the name of it was there's no such thing as casual conversation. Please go and access that, because that will really, really help you, because that is so true. There's no such thing as a casual conversation. These mind crushers and information hackers go through backdoor situations to go in and hack your information and turn that information. They will get your passcode, the thing that you lock in your mind that is sacred to you. They will come through the back door and break you down and jailbreak your systems so they can come in. When you jailbreak a system, you jailbreak it beyond the password, and they break everything down so they can get into your phone, get into your computer. Some of them even create the worm that they want to hack your computer and impart that into the system. And once you tap in and open that system up, that Trojan go into that system and overthrow all of your system, and they get in. When the narcissist is talking to you and you are talking to the narcissist, and the narcissist is in your mind and he's making inquiry, she's making inquiry, those inquisitions are not just happenstance. They're doing it strategically because they need something against you, even if they just wanted to use it against your very person. Because you got to remember, every supply that the narcissists get, the narcissists want to keep it, because pre-adventure, they come back later and need to get fuel from that supply. You got shelf supply. Shelf supply is something they don't use all the time. They put you on the shelf, and whenever they need you, you know, you're the little token they'll come and get. But they done locked you in enough that when they call, you come running. They call every 6 months, you come running every 6 months. Come on, that's the way they are. None of their supply, they want to get away, because when things get away from the narcissist, it speaks to their character. They're already dealing with void, emptiness, and they're already dealing with darkness. They're already dealing with they got pride, but inside they're empty, and this emptiness make them feel like they got to constantly fight. And that's why they're constantly proving who they are. They're constantly proving their position. They're constantly reminding you, because they have to remind themselves they're in the forefront. They don't want anything that is not subservient. Anything that challenges them injures them. So they don't want any challenge. When you start to challenge, you start causing narcissistic injury. And this pain provokes them to more hatred, provokes them to more revenge, even if you're the child, even if you are the mother, even if you are the sister, even if you are the wife. Who you are, the status of where you're located in their life has nothing to do with their personality disorder. You will to them submit. You will be subservient. Why? Because they're great and they're mighty. in their own mind. And you got to remember the narcissist got a world that they live in, and it's their world, and they bring you into their world. And the information center that you have released need to be strategic. You have to learn, like Gray Rock, when you go neutral and you don't show any emotion, that becomes very difficult. Can you imagine a nut jumping around saying stuff and you want to just knock them out? And you cannot, you got to go Gray Rock. And on the inside, they down. But on the outside, you don't say anything, but you're constantly being provoked, 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 provoked. When you deal with a narcissist, they are orchestrated stirrers. They are triggers, and they are purposely triggering to see what caused you to tick, what caused you to go, what caused you to move, how you move. They tabulate your movement. They tabulate your frequency. They tabulate what moves you the fastest, the quickest. They tabulate when you hold back and you're hesitant. They tabulate everything. These narcissists are very strategic, very calculative. They live their life in things that you just happen to do, happen to go by. They mastered it. They have to live their life. They have to be strategic, because when you have voice and you have to triangulate and you got different levels of relationship going at the same time, with different mindset, with different levels of pull, different levels of holding hostage. Some of them you put on the shelf, some of them is a primary source, some is a secondary source, and then you got all of these other sources that you pull in. You got your intimate partners, you got your business partners that you're never going to sleep with, but you're going to tap into their mind. And then you got your friendship, your associates, because they are people connectors, and they connect with these people because narcissists connect with people that connect with other people that connect with other people, and they broaden their horizon because they connect with your mind. They're like mind readers, and that means these narcissists can read non-verbal communication like you read a book. They live by it. When you are dead to love and dead to emotion, what doesn't matter to other people is a major issue to you. So information is they call many of them the secretary of information, because what they do, they are administrators of information, prime ministers of information. They even call the greater narcissist the president of information, because these information files, if you can look in their mind, all of these files are going based on who they connect with, and each file has a purpose. When they pull that file, they pull it for the court because you're in court. Then they pull it for the relationship because you are being triangulated. They pull it for the new source because you're the new source. Then they pull it because they need to devalue you. They pull the other one because they need to gaslight you. They pull the other because you're questioning them, so they go word salad. They pull you to Gray Rock, so they need to provoke you. So they got all of these files that they are pulling. No wonder when you leave them, you see why it takes time to totally get them out of your system, because they are systematic operators. They just don't operate at one protocol, at one level. They get into and intertwine levels. It's like intestine all through your body. You will know that you had that many feet of intestines in one body. They intertwine the system, and everything they feed you goes through your system, and they know what it does by what you release and what you keep. Getting revenge with the narcissist. Watch your words. Don't just say anything. You cannot just talk. Once again, go to my daughter, Dr. Carmen Bryan, and listen to her. And the video, I think, is there's no such thing as casual conversation, because many of you are talking and you're talking too much, and you realize it afterwards when they bring it back that is your words they took, and they took it to the court of law. And when the lawyer asks, did you not say, you honestly have to say it, I did. And then when you go to explain, they don't give you a chance to explain. All they want to know is, did you say it? Narcissists use words like you use air. They need it. You breathe it. You need oxygen. Once you stop breathing, you die. Once they stop getting information, you die. Information is fuel. It's fuel. It's lots of fuels. Information is a roadmap. It becomes the GPS. It's a directive. Be careful when you open your mouth and you're in front of a narcissist. Know that the gateway is open. Be intentional on everything you say. Be intentional on everything you do. When they provoke you, when the narcissist asks questions, it reminds me when God asks a question, it's not because he don't know the answer. It's because he wants you to see where you are. When the narcissist asks the question, they're tallying, storing information. You are making a file, and this file will be pulled at the right time with all of your information in it. They'll upload that information, and they will bring it back against you. When you are angry, it's not the time to talk, because anger will take down your barriers. It will take down your safeguards, and you will speak out of your emotion. And when you speak out of your emotions, you're feeding them. If you look at them, you're fueling them. And they seem content when you fuel them. They provoke you to fuel. They provoke you to release. They take themselves to the service station, and you become the pump. And they release all of this anger, questions, doubt, so you can respond. Not respond, so you can react. Because responding requires thinking. Reacting doesn't. And you speak, these words will be held against you. Many of you know this, because how many times that you've had a conversation and you thought everything was going good. And see, what makes it so hard is when the narcissist act like a regular human, a regular person. And they do nice things for you, cook for you, take you out, enjoy, take you shopping, take you to the family, get you around their friends, take you to a business meeting. Well, if you recall, before you went to that business meeting, you were packing a suitcase. Say, I'm done. I done had enough of this. I'm out of here. Next thing you know, you at a business meeting, meeting all his friends. I'm out of here. Next thing you know, y'all going to an event. And it's something you've been wanting. You get it. And you talk. And you talk. Because now things seem good. And then you wonder whether they made the right diagnosis. Or wonder, he can't be a narcissist. She can't be. She's showing me love. And she's showing me care. Just when you get that mindset, boom, everything changed. The wind changed. The house is in chaos. They changed their mind. Boom, they're back devaluing you. Devaluing you. There's such devaluation. It's crazy. You wonder where it came from. You didn't do anything. You just walked in the house. A minute ago, we was enjoying our friends. You was laughing, and I was wonderful. You closed the door. Now you hate me. You're going after me because the information center was open and you were talking. You were just talking. You were just talking. You were just talking. And then the more you talk, the more you was waking up your narcissist. That they realized, wait a minute. You was going to do what? And you did what? And what happened? Oh, nobody messed with the throne of the narcissist. That's why you have to be wise. You, especially when you're living with them with children, you're married, you got business together. You got things that bind you to them. And you can't just leave because you're in business, you're in covenant, you're married, you have children. You can't just operate as if none of that exists, because everything that is connected to you, that is affected by you, it can be affected with the decisions you make. With that narcissist, they can make life even more of a living hell, which they will do. They're designed for it. They're orchestrated for it. They live for it. They'll get thought fuel. They'll get pain fuel. They'll get fuel when you leave, and they know you coming back because you're in a training ground. Remember, from the time you're with the narcissist, it is a narcissistic training ground. You're not just acting out of behavior because you're angry, you're disgruntled. You're acting out of training. You don't be with a narcissist and not be trained. A narcissist, even lower narcissists, can't afford to have untrained people with them. They cause too many injuries. They cause too many problems. And you got to go in full effect, knowing where you are. On a war ground, the soldier is cognizant of their environment. They're cognizant that every single day they're on a war ground. Someone lives, someone breathes, someone moves, they dream, they think all day to kill them. All day, every day. They don't get up one day. They don't think all day not to kill. They go all day on a war zone to kill them. Narcissists breathe, live in a war zone. They're used to chaos. That's why they can create it. That's why they can cause it. They're used to fears. They can cause it. They're used to being empty. They can cause it. All the things they cause has to come out of them. So what are you going to do when you are being pushed by the mind crusher? When you are being hacked with backdoor hackers, your antivirus system has to be stronger than the hacking system. Breathe. Think. I'm big on you thinking. I'm big on you doing something with your mind. I'm big on the Christian in prayer. If you are a believer, pray. Those of you who don't believe in Jesus Christ, you don't believe in prayer. Some of you say, I don't pray. Get a book. Put the book of strength in your mind. Build your mind. Build every facet of your mind. Read, and read more. Read things that's going to encourage you. Read things that are going to strengthen you. Read things that's going to take your mind out of neutral and overloads and feed your mind the strength it needs. When you feed your mind will regurgitate its sources. Feed it. Christian, pray. Don't you ever minimize prayer. It doesn't matter who don't pray. We pray. You pray. Men are always to pray and not faint. You got to have some fight back. And these are fight back tools. When you can get out, because some of you say, I'm locked, I can't get out. Yeah, but you go grocery shopping. He lets you go grocery shopping. She lets you go grocery shopping. Get out. When you go grocery shopping, that becomes your mind time that you can cater to yourself, give to yourself. Put a book under the seat. Put prayer always in your heart. You have someone to fight for you. Even if it's you. Fight. Stop laying down. You are fighting a force, a prevailing force that wants to overload, overthrow, cast out, destroy you. Your mouth moves and information comes out. Words come out. Don't talk too much. especially when you're angry, especially when you're trying to prove things. Don't talk too much. The narcissists use everything. They are the one that take the meat off the bone, and the bone is clean. I went out to dinner once with a friend of mine, very notorious, prestigious woman, very business mind. I mean, all through the community, well known. And she is awesome in starting business and helping business to grow. We went out and we had a fish dinner. I have never seen a person clean a fish bone like that. I didn't even know you could eat fish like that. The bone was so clean, and this fish had so many bones in it. And I mean, that bone was so clean until I took a Snapchat in my mind because I wanted to remember that. That's the narcissist. They clean a bone until there's nothing left. To eat this leftover, you have to be able to eat bones. You have to be like a hyena. The hyena eat bones. They crush it. They eat the bone. The narcissist, everything they do is intentional. Every single thing. And I want you to remember that. Everything they do. So everything you say is intentional. Every word you say, it never goes in vain. The narcissist will use it. Watch it when the atmosphere is conducive and very conversational, whether through pressure or through ease. All of your information, they are mind crushers and information hackers. Make sure your antivirus system of strengthening your mind and monitoring your mouth works. It has been a joy being with you, and I know that was pretty strong, and I hope that I helped you. You're going to have to fight back when you're in the midst of it. And when you're in the midst of it, and those of you who have escaped or been discarded, and you still tied into the narcissist through business, children, marriage, be wise. Be very wise. Keep those texts. Don't erase them because you're angry. Remember, they use information. We use information. Keep those texts. Keep those emails. Don't throw away anything. They write a letter, send a card. Keep everything. Because information is powerful. It's the evidence in the court of law. Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoy coming to you. I look forward to you coming live. I'm going to do some more teachings. I'm on my way to South Africa. And so I want to be and spend some time with you before I leave, because I don't know how good the systems are out there. We had some difficulty last time I went there. But if I can, I will be taping from South Africa and then taping from London. I love you to life. You can do it. You can make it. Strengthen the element you need. It's going to help you. Strengthen your mind. Feed your mind. Never be neutral when it comes to your mind. Feed it. And if you feed your mind, it will help your emotions. Thank you so much. Those of you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Push the bell, and the bell will allow you to know that when I download new material, this new material will alert you to know that it is available to you. And get others, like and share the page. Bring other folks to this page. Help them. Don't allow people to suffer. And we are all here. Access my daughter, Dr. Carmen Bryan. We have Quinn Holiday, Associate Direct. We have Sarah Speaks, Little Sherman. Please, we have Narc Survivor. There are so many elements that can help you. So many people that are giving their life for your success. And so you can accomplish life to the big after trauma. Life can begin again, and life do exist after trauma. I love you to life, and I look forward to us meeting again. Remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel, push the bell, and like and share the page. Love you.